Hello all the listeners. We are on the second movement of Gandhi. In the first movement we have seen that it failed because it called off the movement. We also did the topics up to December 1929 when there was a session of Congress in Lahore and people took an oath that now they do not want Swaraj and now they want Poorna Swaraj or complete independence. Students, this session was very important, about which I told you in my previous lecture. The president of this session was Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, and it was decided to demand for Poorna Swaraj. Now I have given you the difference between Swaraj and Poorna Swaraj also, and it was also decided to celebrate 26 January 1930, 29 December Lahore session of Congress, next month 26 January 1930. Remember this one, 1930, because this has a significance. It was decided to celebrate Independence Day in advance. Means without we have attained independence, we will celebrate Independence Day in advance. And you know what happened? That at the night, after 12 o'clock at night on 25th January, when 26th January started, our freedom fighters, our nationalists climbed up on the government buildings at the midnight of 26th January morning. They climbed up the buildings, whoever belonged to the Britishers, official buildings, they just snatched away the British flag, it was put off, and everywhere Indian flag was hosted, Indian tricolor was hosted, to tell the Britishers that now we are fed up of you and now we want that you should leave India. On 26 January 1930 in the morning, when the Britishers went to their offices, they were wonderstruck to see that their flag is not there and Indian flag is hosting everywhere. So this was it was a significance, it was a symbol that now Indians do not want Britishers in our country. However, Gandhiji was not happy. Gandhiji was not happy because he said that actually independence is not had in concrete sense. Concrete means real. Because it is just an idea that we are celebrating Independence Day, but in concrete sense we have not attained independence yet. Okay, although oaths were taken near the river Ravi that Poorna Swaraj will be the motive of the freedom fighters, but Gandhi was not happy when people were celebrating Independence Day in advance, and instead he was in favor of another mass movement about which I told you that in case non-cooperation movement it is met with violence by the Britishers, then we will start a civil disobedience. And you also remember that these were the radicals, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose. The radicals, they were in favor of another mass movement. Clear? Now, come to the next topic, that is Salt March. In 1930, Gandhi also told people that the most dirty phase of the colonial rule in India, that they have taxed the salt also. Correct? Salt, which is a natural resource of India. And Indian villagers, they used to manufacture salt without paying taxes or without taking license from anyone, because it is a natural resource of India and they were manufacturing it. Moreover, salt is such a thing which is used by rich and poor alike, and salt is the medium of cooking food, and you know that without salt nobody can survive. Salt is essential part of our food. So the colonial government knowingly, because remember it was a period of economic crisis. In my previous lecture I told you that after the First World War and between the two world wars, 1930s was a period of acute economic crisis. I told you that Britishers were demanding revenue, Indian had no money, and in this situation of dissatisfaction and a sense of insecurity among the Indians, Britishers taxed on salt, and whoever will manufacture salt, they have to take license from the government. So according to Gandhi, this was a very dirty face of the colonial rule that was revealed before the people. This colonial rule is such a rule which cannot be tolerated now. So Gandhi united his people and said that instead of celebrating your independence, and which is not had in concrete sense, let us raise voice against the salt tax. So Gandhi wrote a letter to Irvin on 31st January 1930. Gandhi wrote a letter to Irvin. Lord Irvin was there at that time, about which we have read in previous lecture also. So he wrote a letter to Irvin stating 11 demands. The demands varying from peasants, workers, industrialists, common people, etc. 11 demands total were there. And the most steering demand was abolition of salt tax. So this letter was sent to Irvin, and actually this letter was an ultimatum. Instead of a letter, it was an ultimatum to Irvin that if up to 11 March, if you have not communicated with us, or if you have not given us any reply of this letter, then we will start a mass movement. Correct? Irvin was not in a mood to communicate with Gandhi. So up to 11 March, there was no reply from Irvin, and no reply was considered as if Irvin was not in a mood to communicate with Gandhi, to communicate with our freedom fighters. So it was decided to start the Salt March, which is also known as Dandi March. Again students, this is your map work, Dandi, Gujarat, sea coast. So it was a 24-day march from his ashram Sabarmati, Gandhi's ashram, Gujarat, to Dandi. It was 240 miles, 240 miles. Gandhi and his followers covered 10 miles a day, 10 miles a day. In between, they took halt. In between, Gandhi addressed the people. See, from Sabarmati, Gandhi started with about 78, or in some books it is written 72. So you can write about 78 volunteers. Volunteers, you know, that they themselves came with Gandhi. So Gandhi started his march with only about 72 or 78 followers. But on the way, in the villages, wherever Gandhi stopped, wherever Gandhi and his followers took halt, Gandhi addressed the people, and many people followed him, including women. This was a very peculiar feature of the second movement of Gandhi, participation of women, about which you have read in your class 10th also. So many women, many males, they all supported Gandhi, and after reaching Dandi, it was a huge mob. So many people, thousands of people were with Gandhi, and at Dandi, sea coast in Gujarat, there was a ceremonial environment. Ceremonial means a very happy environment. Everybody was so anxious that now something will happen, and because you know salt was scarce in the market. My grandmother, they used to tell us that people used to borrow salt from the houses, that please give us salt, when it will be available in the market we will give you back. So salt was scarce in the market. All the salt factories they were closed down by the Britishers. So there was lots of chaos in the country. So after, when Gandhiji and his followers reached Dandi, people were very happy that now something positive will come up for us. And after reaching Dandi on 6th April 1930, remember this date, 6th April 1930. You must know that 6th April is also significant. 6th April 1919 is also important for Rowlatt Satyagraha, when Gandhiji started Rowlatt Satyagraha previously. So again 6th April 1930, note it down. The year is different, the date is the same. 6th April, lucky date for Gandhi. So 6th April, Gandhi reached to Dandi, and there he manufactured salt by boiling sea water. Boiling sea water, sunshine was there, April heat, and Gandhiji picked up a handful of salt in his hand and gave a very influential speech to the people, which I am giving you. You can note it down in your notes copy, and if something is missing you can fill in the blank later. So Gandhi gave a very effective speech to the people. Note it down. See, write it like this. Let every village manufacture salt. Let every village manufacture salt, comma, sisters should picket. Sisters should picket liquor shops, liquor. Sisters should picket liquor shops, foreign cloth dealers shops, put some dots, because it's a very good speech. We have to take only those points about which we are concerned. Then students should give up going in British schools and colleges. Again put some dots. Indians should boycott foreign goods. And see the last line. And you will see that Poon Swaraj, write it in inverted commas. And you will see that Poon Swaraj will come knocking at our doors. Close inverted comma, full stop. Okay? Do all this. Let every village manufacture salt. Sister should picket liquor shops, foreign cloth dealer shop. Students should give up going in British schools and colleges. Put some dots in between. And then the most important one is, and you will see that Poon Swaraj will come knocking at our doors. So after this speech, people followed Gandhi. There were different sections of the society who were reluctant to support Gandhi now because they had seen Gandhiji's attitude in the non-cooperation movement. Even they came up when it was a Marx, the salt, this symbol, this united, and Gandhiji himself said that if we raise voice against the salt tax, so salt is a symbol which will unite all the Indians together, and this happened. Many people came together, they were picketing. Many women, they picketed the foreign cloth dealers shops, liquor shops, wine shops. Many students, they left going in British schools and colleges. At many places, people boycotted the foreign goods. People began to adopt Swadeshi. At many places, people attacked on the government buildings. Transportation and communication was broken. Remember, I told you in the previous lectures also that British were very much afraid when their transportation and communication was blocked. Why? Because this could make them remain away from each other, and they could not communicate with each other how to take action in different parts of the country. So transportation and communication system was broken, railway was disrupted, etc. In this situation, again Irwin was sent to India, and this was known as Gandhi-Irwin Pact. Irwin asked Gandhiji to stop all this because during this all this happened when I am telling you railway was blocked and transportation communication was blocked. At two places there was lots of disturbance. In Peshawar, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, also known as Frontier Gandhi, he belonged to Peshawar, he was arrested. And when he was arrested, many followers of Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, they told the British police that put us also in jail. When our leader is in jail, put us in jail. And people faced armored cars, armored jeeps of the British police, and it became very difficult for the British police to control the mob in Peshawar. And 1 month later, after 1 month, that is 1 month later, the same incident happened in Sholapur, the place of Gandhi. Again, people faced armored cars. Even Gandhi was arrested. When there was mob in Sholapur and there was agitation in Sholapur, even Gandhi was arrested. And people came on streets. People told the British police that put us in jail. It is said that more than 1 lakh people were in jail. There was no place in jail. There was no place. Jails were filled with the people, important leaders, Abdul Ghaffar Khan and Gandhi. In this situation of chaos, in this situation of disturbance, Irwin again was sent to convince Gandhiji. This is rightly called Gandhi-Irwin Pact 1931. Irwin was sent to convince Gandhi that he should stop this was the beginning of the civil disobedience movement, in fact, that he should stop the civil disobedience movement and should come to attend the round table conferences, about which I have told you in my previous lecture. To come to London to attend the round table conference and stop the movement. Okay, so Gandhi and Irwin sat together. This is known as Gandhi-Irwin Pact. Irwin asked Gandhiji to stop all this and just to attend the second roundtable conference, because the first roundtable conference had failed. Because when the first roundtable conference was convened in London, Gandhi was busy in India. He didn't attend the meeting. And even Indians, they were not in favor of sending Gandhi to London and attending the meeting. Because the meeting which was going to be convened for the convenience of Indians for discussing the future constitution for India, why it is convened in London. So this point was taken by the Indians, and Gandhi did not attend the first roundtable conference. So before convening the second roundtable conference, Irwin asked Gandhiji to come to London and attend the conference, and we will listen to you. Gandhi, he took this opportunity. He told Irwin that first of all, release my prisoners, release all the Indian prisoners. Irwin accepted immediately, because this was their motive to once convince Gandhi to come to London. So prisoners were released before Gandhi, and Gandhi went to London without telling the people, and the civil disobedience movement was going on in India. Many people, they were unaware about this incident, and Gandhi went to London to attend the second roundtable conference. And he went with Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. When Gandhiji went to London to attend the second roundtable conference, no demand of Gandhiji was heard. He was badly insulted. He had a clash with Ambedkar on the issue of the communal electorate in India, and Gandhiji came back with a great apprehension, with great humility. Gandhiji came back to India, and when he came to India, he saw that there was no civil disobedience movement going on in the country. 1932, all the important leaders were in jail. Remember, in the Gandhi-Irwin Pact, they released all the prisoners. But as soon as Gandhiji went to London, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, even Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, they were put to jail, and many other leaders were in jail. When Gandhiji was in London, at the back, Congress was declared as illegal body, and all the meetings, all the processions, they were banned. There was total strictness in the country. In this situation of apprehension and dissatisfaction, Gandhiji again called his followers to restart the movement. But this time the movement could crawl. The movement lost its momentum, as I told you, in Peshawar and Sholapur. That was the momentum. People were facing armored cars. They were asking the British police to put us in jail. That momentum was over now. Because I told you, people were unhappy that Gandhiji left the movement in between and went to London. So, the second time when the movement started, it just crawled. It just continued for a year, and after that it collapsed. Correct? So this was the second movement of Gandhi, the civil disobedience movement, in which there is a large portion of Salt March, and aftermath of Salt March, what happened. And in the civil disobedience movement, the main feature was women's participation. Women participated on a large scale, but remember, students, these women were not from all the sections of the society. In the urban areas, these women were from high caste people, Brahmins. And in the rural areas, these women were from land-owning families like zamindars and landlords. Obviously, because in the urban areas, when they belonged to the upper caste, they had lots of people to work in the house, they could spare time to come with Gandhi. Same in the rural areas, when they belonged to the family of landlords and zamindars, there are lots of people to work at home, so they could come. So don't think that when women came with Gandhi, there was a radical change in the women's condition. There was no radical change in women's condition. Even Gandhi used to say, be good mothers and be good wives. Look after your home and hearth. And Gandhiji was only in favor of women, that they should come, okay, that's good, but only symbolic role. Symbolic means they have come, everybody know that women are with us and they should better look after their home and hearth and be good mothers and good wives. So for a long time, no position of authority was given to women in Congress, because these were the views of Indian leaders at that time. So although women came with Gandhi in the civil disobedience movement during the Dandi March, but no radical change came in their lives. So that was all for today. Tomorrow we will proceed this chapter and this topic further. Thank you very much, students.